thank you once again, Zolve, for bringing this event together. So today it's all about about the myth which goes around about the student visas, and a great initiative. So I'll just share my screen so that I can start the presentation. Alrighty. Okay. So good. So this is all going to be about the student visa process. So we'll be covering about what is happening on the digital platform, what are the different news that is coming in. So we're going to try and bust all those myths for you. So like Mansi also said in the beginning, that there is so much of noise because of the digital platform. There is so much of Instagram reel that comes in, so much of information overload. So we're going to break it down into knowledge and information and wisdom so that you all get eased out, because it's very important to go in for your visa interview with the right kind of thought process and a positive frame of mind. So by now, I'm sure you all would have known what is an I-20. I-20 is a document which comes from the US, from the university. And then you go to fill your visa form called DS-160. Then, of course, you got to pay your service fees and you're going to schedule your appointments. And then you got to go in for your visa interview and show strong ties to your home country. So what does all these entail to? We're going to discuss it one by one. So just for your information that we have created this slide and this presentation and the information which talks about how to convert all that information into knowledge so that you understand how everything is interconnected. Once you know this information, when you have knowledge, it is very strong. You start believing in what you are going and what are you stepping into. So my name is Sanjay Kaushik, and I used to work with the US Embassy. I worked there for 15 years, and for the past 22 years, I've been helping students, visitors, and all kind of visas like H-1 and N-1. So I've probably held more than 45,000 or 50,000 only F-1 visas over a period of time successfully. So let's understand what is an I-20. So we largely believe that the I-20 is coming from the university, because up until now you've been interacting with the university, you have sent your financial papers to the university, and once the university is satisfied, they'll send you an I-20. However, if you look at the I-20, the top left of the I-20, it says Department of Homeland Security, the USCIS, United States Citizen and Immigration Services, which is very important to understand how everything is interconnected. When you fill the visa form called DS-160, that's Department of State. So now 3 departments are already working on a particular visa. So it is not only coming from the university, but in sync with the US government. All right. So when you send your financial papers for the I-20, the only thing that matters for them is that you have a bank balance certificate or an education loan approval, or a combination of these when you're requesting for the I-20 release. Nothing else will work, not like a mutual fund, or shares, or bonds, or provident fund, nothing. However, all these documents would be required during the interview. But for the I-20, only your bank balance certificate, education loan, or a combination of these. Now, when we start filling the visa form called DS-160, that is Department of State, like I mentioned. There is Department of Homeland Security, which issues the service number, the USCIS, which is the Immigration Department, and DS is Department of State. So once you start filling your DS-160, you can actually retrieve your DS-160 within 30 days from the day you start filling your visa application form. You can review it, you can make changes. However, once when you submit your DS-160, the same DS-160 number cannot be retrieved for any alterations or anything after that. But once you submit it, it stays in the system for 99 years. Why is it important? It is important because if you, in the future, if you're applying for a different visa category, or after you complete your studies and you're applying for an OPT, or during your studies, if you're applying for a CPT, your DS-160 is already in the database of the immigration and the visa department. They can always retrieve it to figure out the information that you've already provided to them and the information that you're providing to them while applying for your next visa. So it should be very extremely consistent. So what I suggest to all students is, when you're filling the visa application form, make sure to save all the data for future reference. It is really going to help you. And once you filled your visa application form, once you've paid the visa fees, then the problem starts, that whether will I get a visa appointment or not, right? There is so much of hype, there is so much of information that there are a lot of agents that are sitting there to give you an appointment. So let me make you aware that nobody can, in fact, pre-save a visa appointment. They cannot, because the data cannot be changed. So which means that if you have created your data, that data cannot be changed by anybody else, right? So make sure that the information that you're filling is absolutely correct. And the American embassy, they keep releasing updates that they would be releasing appointments. If you go back to the US embassy Instagram page and look at the November 12th information that they posted, that they would be releasing appointments. So this is from the source. This is from the US embassy, nobody else. So they keep announcing that they would be releasing appointments. So there should not be any anxiety or a panic for students whether they would get an appointment or not, right? So make sure that you are following the US Embassy website, their reels, their Instagram page to get the regular updates. So don't get any kind of anxiety whether you'll get an appointment or not. You will, right? Because first thing we need to understand that the I-20 is being issued by the Department of Homeland Security, the USCIS, and the State Department is issuing visas. So they are in sync. They know the number of I-20s issued. They also know the number of dates or slots to be released. All right. So make sure that you follow them. So there is a myth that when you go in for your visa interview, that the visa officer would have actually reviewed your DS-160 even before you appear for an interview. So it's a myth. The reality is that there are more than 500 or 700 people applying for a visa on a given day, right? It is not possible for the visa officer to review and remember everybody. However, when you appear in front of the visa interview, when he scans your passport, the DS-160 information opens up. That's when he starts reading that information. It's not pre-reviewed, all right? The other thing is a lot of people, I keep hearing that the US government would have allocated certain number of student visas to be issued. That's again a myth. The reality is that on a given day, if there are 100 students applying for visas, and if all those 100 student visas are to be issued because they did qualify for their interview, all those visas would be issued. So there's no cap as such on a given day, for a given month or for a given year. In my last presentation, I had already informed that last year, 2023 and 2024, exceeded the number of applications and the issuance that went up, right? So the numbers, so there is no cap as such. So it's not that, if I apply earlier, if I apply late, I haven't got my I-20 yet. So it should not be kind of a anxiety for students because there is no cap as such, right? Then the other thing is a visa applicant needs to document a minimum income level. That's also not true that, if you have an income of 20 lakhs or 40 lakhs only, then you'll get a visa. That's not true. The officers are looking at your profile holistically, your reason to go and study there. Is it in sync with what you've studied here, what you want to study in America, and how will that benefit you in your career progression, right? That's the main purpose, your reason to go there, and are you a potential immigrant and what will bring you back? Those are the main concerns. However, for finances, they're looking at financial stability of the family in India. How much does the family earn? What's the total savings, investments? Do they own properties? If you have taken an education loan, so they're looking at your profile holistically, not just one specific element. What is the annual income or what is the minimum savings that you've shown? They're not looking at that. They're looking at overall things. Another myth is that during the visa interview, the consular officer would like to hear the right kind of answers. So there is no right kind of answers. On the internet, you'll see that a lot of people have posted these are the right kind of answers. That's not true. The officer wants to understand an honest answer from you. What is your profile, right? What will you go and study there? So there has to be a very clear storyline which depicts your own personality, not somebody else's personality. What you read online could be somebody else's answer, right? So they're not looking at a right answer. They're looking at an honest answer which talks about what your profile is, what are your requirements, what are the skill sets that you're looking at, and how would that benefit you in your career progression. That's what they're looking at. There's no right answer. There has to be an honest answer. Another method is that if a student is applying for a visa for an F-1, and if he's married, if he's got kids, a lot of people say that, do not apply together. The embassy will not issue a visa because they may believe that you're a potential immigrant. That is not true, because they have a visa category called an F-1 for the principal applicant, F-2 for the derivative, like a spouse or a kid. So all the family members can apply for a visa together, right? There has to be a logical answer to why are all applying for the visas together, right? So if you think logically, then you all would possibly qualify for the visa. Not that, if you don't apply for your family, your chances are good. No, that's not true. you know so if you're applying, if you have dependents, and if you have um, thought through the whole process, then it's easier for you to all get visas together, right? Another myth is that that the visa officer would have made a decision even before you reach the visa interview. Again, it's a huge myth, right? The officer, unless he takes your interview, unless he knows that you have a reason to go and study there, unless he believes that there is a sync in what you've studied and what you want to study in America, you understand the course content, you understand the curriculum, you understand your career objectives, only then he'll make a decision. Not that, even before you reach there, he would have made a decision. That's a huge myth. Again, if your visa is refused, then the chances of getting a visa drops. That's again not true. The officers are not biased with the previous refusal. Yes, they would have the notes. Yes, the previous officer would have provided information that he believes why is he refusing a visa. The officer have access to all that to read that, but that does not deter him to issue a visa. If you go for your second interview, if you're well prepared, if you did overcome your own assumption that you did make some mistakes during the last interview, you can actually overcome and get a visa together. I've seen in my whole career that there are people those who have applied several times and got refused, but still got their visas when they went for the interview the next time. So prepare well, avoid refusal. In case if somebody is refused, go back, introspect, and understand what could have possibly gone wrong. Did you answer those questions correctly or not? Sometimes what happens is we believe that I'm giving the right answer. But if you look at the officer's perspective, then that answer could be extremely incorrect. So figure out what is he looking at, what is the visa law, what is the visa officer's expectations, have you met those expectations or not? The reality is that it's not biased, you can really overcome the next visa interview. So the other myth is like, if my visa is refused, I cannot apply for the next 2 years, or there has to be a cooling period. Again, that's not true. There is no restriction as such. It is not that, once you've applied and you've lost your opportunity. It's not that. You can go back, like I said, that introspect, figure out what could have possibly gone wrong, prepare well, understand your course content, understand your curriculum, understand your career objectives, try and sync them up, look at the India market, connect all those things, and then go and reapply for your visa. And sure, with right preparation, you can overcome your last refusal. Again, a lot of people talk about saying that, if I have a sibling in the US, if I have a relative in the US, should I be mentioning that on my DS-160 or not? Will that deter my chances of getting a visa? Again, it's a myth, right? The reality is that it does not make a difference at all, right? The officer is looking at you as an individual. He wants to understand that what are your goals, what are your reasons, what is your perspective of going and studying over there. It does not deter the issuance of your visa if you have a sibling in the US. I've seen siblings going to the same university, applying for a student visa maybe after a year, after the first sibling went to the US. That does not. As long as you're able to present your case and tell the visa officer what are your perspective, what are your goals, what are your career objectives, why have you chosen that particular university. The choice of university should not be based on, say, my brother's there or my sister's there. It should be based on your requirements, right? So once again, prepare well, understand your goals, right? So those are certain myths that I've got. There could be other floating around, but I could just figure out those myths around. So I thought that let me just address those. However, like I said in the beginning, your I-20 documents are different than your visa documents. I-20 documents, the officer is looking at the availability of funds, where you can show it through your bank balance certificate or an education loan or a combination of those things. That's to get your I-20. However, when you're going for your visa interview, it is important to show the financial strength of the family. So when I say financial strength, what does that mean? That means that how well established your family is here financially. Do they have an annual income? Do they have savings, investments? Do they own properties? You got to take all of those documents, not just that bank balance certificate that you sent for your I-20, not just that, but it is important to carry all the financial papers and the property papers. All right. So again, there's another myth that do I need to carry a CA report? Well, it's optional. The visa officers are not interested in looking at the CA report. They would rather see your financial papers than just the CA report. It's optional. If you want, you can carry it, but it is not required. During the interview, should I address the visa officer by telling my income in dollars or rupees? Well, rupees is preferred, but if you want, you can tell him both. But preference is rupees because the visa officer understands that you're currently in India, you're not in the US, right? Sometimes I've heard visa officers say that, why are you telling me all your income in dollars? You are still in India, right? So you can talk about my family's income is 40 lakh rupees, equivalent to so much dollars. Not just saying that my family has an income of dollar so and so, right? Okay. Myth, financial documents, how much money should I be kept in the account? Should it be around 1.5 or double the amount? Again, it's a myth. Nobody keeps that kind of money in the saving account, right? Because the officer who himself is employed would have invested that money somewhere, maybe in stocks, maybe in bonds, maybe in their government bonds. So he's looking at your finances holistically because the visa law says any document prepared for the purpose of visa is invalid, right? So whatever you have is what the officer wants to see. So how do you show your annual income? Through your tax returns, right? Salary slips, okay? How do you show your savings and investments? Fixed deposit, shares, bonds, mutual funds, all of that, right? So the officer is looking at, once again, a holistic approach towards your finances, not just one aspect of availability. He's not looking at availability. He's looking at financial strength, all right? Now, the objective of the reality, like I said, is that the officer is not looking at the availability. He's looking at the stability or how holistically that your family is here. Like, what are they doing here? What's the annual income? What's the savings, investments? We own properties or not? So a lot of people say that, hey, sir, I've got a full scholarship. So why should I be carrying all these things? So if we understand the visa law, the law says you've got to show that you have strong financial ties. The law does not say that show me the availability of funds. Availability of funds is to show that to the federal government that you've already shown that you've got enough funds, and that's the reason they had issued the I-20. However, during the visa interview, you have to show your financial strength. So the way to answer the question is, first talk about the annual income, the total savings, investments, the properties, and then you can talk about saying that in looking at my credentials, the college offered me a full scholarship, or we have an annual income of so much, savings, investment so much. We've also taken an education loan. So availability should come right in the end. First is address the visa law, right? So documents required for your visa interview. Of course, if you've been working, then your joining letter or your offer letter, salary slip for the last 3 months. If you've already resigned, not that you should be resigning it, if you're still working, then your joining letter is good enough with the salary slip. If you've already put in your resignation, then your resignation letter and your relieving letter as well when you go in for your visa interview. All right. So it is very important because when you go for the interview, the officer has very limited time, right? So make sure that you know your documents, okay? And how would you know your documents? If you make clear sets. If you have set one, which is the essential, which talks about your passport, your visa appointment letter, your DS-160 confirmation page, your I-20 and your service fees. Those are the essentials. Supporting documents are going to be, because you're going to study there, all your education documents, your 10th, your 12th, your bachelor's. If you've taken any exam like the SAT or the GRE or the GMAT, take a screenshot, your TOEFL scores, make another set. Third set is going to be if you've been working, then work-related documents. Fourth set is going to be all your financial papers, right? Starting with your annual income, then total savings, investments, and property. The sequence should go like that because we would only do savings if I have an annual income, right? So annual income, savings, investments, and properties. So that's how you make those sets. Set 5 is going to be if you've applied to different colleges, if you've received various admits, take those offer letters and rejection letters, and then your miscellaneous set of documents. You can carry all of those, right? Once again, like I said, there's so much of noise, around the internet saying that, you've got to show your ties to your home country, but nobody talks about what are the ties, what do I tell the visa officer? How do I prove that I am not an intending immigrant, right, during the interview? It's very important to understand how the interview goes at the embassy, right? So if we talk about the visa law, or if we talk about any conversation, it is subjective, right? So what you say, like I said, the officer could understand very differently, because a lot of people say, um, I've chosen this university because one of my friends referred this university to me. For you, it's a great thing. But for the visa officer, he believes that, if you're serious, why did you not research on university? Why did you not look at various other colleges? It's great for you, but for the visa officer, he wants to understand your objective, right? When you say that, how will you fund yourself? Sir, I've taken an education loan, which covers my entire tuition fees and my living expense. That's good for you because you're showing the availability, right? But the officer wants to know what? How strong your family is financially. So there could be a difference of, understanding. So if you understand the visa law and prepare according to the visa law, what the officer requires to get satisfied is very important. Okay, so like I said, in order to satisfy the visa officer's concern about the ties to your home country, he's looking at social ties, financial ties, your professional goals. Each question has an opportunity to address these issues. So how? If the officer says, how will you fund yourself? So when I say, so both my parents are professionals or my father's going to take care of my expenses, that's where I'm telling him indirectly my social ties, right? We have savings and investments of rupees so much. We have properties worth so much, which takes care of my expense, which shows financial ties to my home country, right? So when the officer says, why have you chosen this particular university? So because I would like to be a cybersecurity specialist, because if you talk about India, data is really important, and most of the companies in India are looking at on securing data. So once I do my specialization in computer science and specialization in cybersecurity, I'd like to come back and work to secure data in India. That's how you're showing that you understand what's happening in India and you're addressing your reason to come back. You're not being obvious, but you're giving him reasons to come back. All right. Okay. So the myth is that, a lot of people say that, only answer when you ask or give answers to the point, talk less. Well, that's a complete myth. You don't have to be vague. You have to be extremely, extremely, clear in your projection of why you want to go and study here. Do not give a short answer. Short answer would be, why do you want to go to the US to do my master's in computer science? Well, is that enough for the officer? No. You have to be active. You've got to participate in the interview. If you're passive and you wait for the visa officer to ask, he may not ask you those kind of questions, right? So be prepared, provide relevant information voluntarily. All right. So don't just go and stand there and say, how will you fund yourself? My parents are going to fund me. We've got enough money. Does that make sense to the officer? It doesn't, right? You got to tell what your parents are doing. What's the annual income? What is the total sale? This is what he expects. All right. So you got to understand what he wants, what is not required. Okay. Create a storyline, like I said. Like I always keep telling everyone, like, don't treat this interview as an interview. There has to be some kind of a conversation between you and the visa officer. You have to have a very clear vision and your reason to go and study in America, which should always be based on your professional goals and what your professional goals are. Based on that, you should choose the course content, curriculum, and then the university, right? Then you can talk about the peripherals like the teaching methodology. It's very practically designed. We get a lot of hands-on experience. We get to work on different projects. That's the teaching methodology, right? And the way the entire program is designed to match the industry requirement, which becomes current and relevant. So that's first is what you want to be, and based on that, what are the courses that you have chosen, and then the teaching, right? And then how the entire program is designed. So it becomes easier for the officer to understand that you understand what are your requirements. Okay, so you need to figure out your end goal first, right? Everyday life, we figure out our end goals, and then we figure out how do we address those. So if you have a clear career objective, then you can talk about what you want to go and study, right? And then how will that help you achieve your career objectives by studying in America? Okay. If you understand it reversely, it becomes easier for you to travel, right? For example, let's say that somebody wants to become a data scientist. So you would say, so why do you want to go and study in America? So I want to be a data scientist because once I complete my education in America, I'd like to come back and work as a data scientist with Microsoft in India, or a data analyst with, let's say, IBM in India, data architect. Have a very clear vision for yourself. what are the positions that you're looking at, and what are the companies that you're looking at. Somebody may come out and say, sir, that Microsoft, Amazon, Airbnb, Wipro, they all are in America, right? Yes, they are in America. However, you would always say that, the US education has more value in India. So my career growth in India would be much bigger and better. Even with companies like Microsoft and Yahoo and Google in India, they would prefer somebody who studied in America because he understands the standards at the international level, right? So your career growth here would be much bigger and better. All right. Okay. So the funds, like I said, here I keep repeating this because it's very important, because there's so much of information and so much of overload that people only talk about the availability of funds, right? Whereas the officer is looking at the financial stability of the family, the strength, the annual income, the savings, the investments. He's looking at all of those. Not just that you've got an education loan that covers it or a scholarship that covers it. He's looking at your social ties and your financial ties holistically. All right. Once your visa is approved, make sure to check all those details: your name, your date of birth, your passport number, your name of your school, and your service number, which should be absolutely correct. Right? Why? Because once your visa is approved, it'll have the annotation of your name of your school and the service number. According to the State Department, you cannot enter the US prior to 30 days of your college start date. It has to be within the college start date. If you remember in the beginning, I said how everything is interconnected. So first is you got your I-20 through Department of State, the USCIS, and the DHS, Department of Homeland Security, right? You fill your form called DS-160, right? And your visa has the name and the service number. So once you enter the US, which cannot be prior to 30 days. So once you enter, you have to report to your college within 30 days from the day you enter, right? If you do not enter, then somebody is looking for you. So that's how everything interconnected. Your visa is approved, you reach at the port of entry, the immigration officer asks you a question, enter saying this person has entered. When you reach the school says this person with this service number has entered here. So that's how everything gets interconnected, right? So my final thoughts are that if you start your process, if you understand the entire objective of the visa officer, why is he asking this question? You all need to stay calm because the visa dates will be available. You understand what is he looking at, your social ties, your financial ties, your professional goals, right? If you start looking at those procedures correctly, and if you start preparing for your visa interview, keeping your professional goals in perspective, it gets very easy to navigate the entire application process, right? You can easily qualify for a US visa. There is again a lot of hype saying that, with the new regime coming in, with Trump coming in, there'll be a lot of changes. They're not going to be major changes, trust me, because changes take a lot of effort. It has to be tabled to the government. The government has to then pass the bill, and then it gets implemented. There's a lot of things that goes in, right? So I've tried to bust a couple of myths here. I don't know whether I've addressed all or not, but majority, I guess I must have busted those. So I would suggest that, stay calm, look at your profile, look at your career goals, keep looking at the timelines that, when you should be applying for your visa, and then prepare well. I'm sure you'll easily get your visas approved. Wishing you all the best. Thank you so much. Yeah, Manchi.
Great. Thank you so much, sir. I think sir has explained like in detail of everything you need to know, and you should not panic after this session, right? Correct. I mean, we'll spend another 20 minutes answering questions. So if you guys have questions, just raise your hand and we'll give you the access to ask your question. And to everyone who's asking the recording about the recording of the session, yes, it will be posted on Zolve's YouTube channel. I'm sorry, the last webinar recording is taking time, but I'll make sure by next week all the recordings are there on the YouTube channel of Zolve and you're able to access it.
Okay, great.
I'll give access to all of you one by one so that you can ask your question. Yeah, Reshma.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, hi, good evening.
Sir, actually, I got my visa approved for computer science. Basically, I'm from civil engineering background. I have a 3 years of experience. I moved to US, and when I was studying in the first semester, I had a health issue, and I got returned to India. I was not able to write my final exam, so my service got deactive, and I came back. No, and I felt like coding was still difficult for me, and I wanted to pursue my career in the construction industry only. Now I'm working in a civil sector, civil engineering. I got to admit in UTA for a construction management course.
Okay.
So I have my visa stamped from 2023 to 2028. Do I need to attend the visa again, or else? And what is the possibility of acceptance? And or else can I travel on the same visa?
Okay. The first thing is you cannot travel on the same visa. That's for sure because your service got terminated. So
Yes,
that's
sir.
one, right?
Okay.
That's one. The second thing is when you fill your DS-160, that's fine. But when you go into your profile through which you pay the visa application fees, right?
Yeah.
It'll ask you, is your visa still valid? Are you applying for the same visa category? Your answer obviously would be yes. Then it'll give you
Yeah.
the option for going for an interview waiver, right?
Okay.
Interview waiver essentially means that you would have to schedule an appointment where you can go to the VFS office and drop your passport, your I-20, and your DS-160 over there. From there, then it goes to the embassy. The officer looks at the case and decides to either issue a visa or call you for an interview. Okay.
Okay.
So if they do call you for an interview, then you have to be prepared by answering the question that what were you doing in the US and why did you come back, and ever since you got back to India, what are you currently doing? And earlier you had gone for a CS program, and now why are you going for engineering management? So those are the kind of questions the officer might ask.
Okay.
Okay. So how long you been working now in India? You said.
Yes, sir. I was working since 1 year. Or I have overall 3 years of experience.
Okay.
Currently working in the construction sector.
Okay. And the earlier visa was issued for which university?
It was Southern Arkansas.
Okay, Southern Arkansas. And now?
University of Texas, Arlington.
Okay. And the earlier one was CS, and now it's going to be for construction management.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you completed one semester in the US?
One semester was discontinued. I was not able to give my final exam. In
How
the
long did
first
you stay in
semester.
the US? For 6 months?
4 months. 4 months.
4 months. Okay, okay. All right. So you have to figure out, like, so you would say that, while I was there, when I had chosen this program, my focus was that, if I could get a computer CS, stream, but at the same time, I was also looking at a management where I could also go into construction management. So looking at those combinations. However, when I reached the Southern Arkansas University, the CS program was more on focus rather than the construction management. So I decided that I should return back to my home country and then look for a program which was more towards construction management with a little bit of computers in it. And that UT is giving me that option.
Okay.
Okay. So you have to justify that, now that you're working with the construction management and, so the computers would give you how to work on data and how to create the operations for better management of the program. Okay, because you wanted to continue in construction only.
Yeah.
Okay, so that should be your pitch when you're going next time.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Sir, we also have so many students whose visa got refused in the last season, right? So anything for them? I think they're yet to get an update on the slot release. So
Okay.
would you like to
Yeah.
add that?
Sure. So once again, like I said, even in my presentation, that one thing, if your visa is refused, please don't worry. Prepare well, understand what could have possibly gone wrong. Look at how did you answer those questions. Were those, really, really passive answers, or were you like, participating? So make sure that you provide relevant information which leads towards your issuance. Issuance would mean what are your career goals and figure that out. That's one. Second, the visa appointments, I would suggest that, starting second week of December, or by end of first week, they would be releasing appointments for the refused cases as well. So again, don't panic. There'll be a lot of dates available in the end of the first week of December or the second week of December. They start releasing the appointments. Thank you.
And I think there's also a myth that I've been saying from last season that this consulate is having highest amount of rejection. This consulate we should not go for because they reject a lot. So, sir, any words on that? Because I personally feel it's not about the consulate that you'll get rejected.
Correct. So because I've been doing this for a very long time, and I keep telling everyone that, for example, the visa law is not for Chennai, or for Hyderabad. It's the visa law, which is absolutely pan India or pan world. I mean, it's not that for a state specific they have designed the visa law. So don't start thinking that if I go to a particular consulate, my visa gets refused. What happens is that anyone whose visa is refused, they would start posting a lot of things online. A person who's got a visa would be busy packing. He would be taking help of Zolve and getting his credit card and getting his SIM card, rather than going and saying that, hey, I've got my visa. A lot of people don't do that. People, those who get refused, are online and vending out. So again, prepare well, understand what could have possibly gone wrong in your last interview, right? Then start looking at the course content, look at your career goals, look at what is happening in India, try and connect those things together in your answer, because the officer is looking at, why have you chosen this college, not just the college, why this program. If you do not understand where is your career going, and if you're giving one line answers, he will not understand. So please prepare well. Thank you.
Great. So let's get to students who want to ask questions. So we have Fani, Aniruddha. Any of you, if you're available, just go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, sir. Today is a great session. I got good information about the visas and all the F1 about the information. So some of the myths and some of the facts. So, but based on the thing, sir, I was refused last time in the Hyderabad 6 months back because I'm having total of 5 years of 5 months of experience as an accountant. So I mean, when I went there and asked the thing, so which university and all the thing. So I have been said that I'm going for this. Last time I was going for Seton Hall University.
Sacred Heart.
Seton Hall, New Jersey.
Okay.
Then I asked the officer asked what is this university is famous for. Then it's a random question, and then I was without nervous. I said so it's having different wide range of courses with combination of accounting with data analytics, accounting with machine learning. But I want to be as an accountant. I want to go with financial data. So accounting with data analytics is my main major. That's what I said. Then she said it's very good. Then she asked next question. Why masters now? Then I said, so ma'am, after this work experience of 5 years of 5 months, I really want to pursue and go ahead. And I want to gain the advancements of the subject in the accounting, because there artificial intelligence is coming into the field and there is great automation in the field of accounting. So that's why I really want to gain the good amount of knowledge from this STEM degree. And there is a great scope in the Indian market with respect to
you voluntarily told that it is a STEM degree, right?
No. I mean, it's a STEM degree. She asked whether it's a STEM degree or general. Then I said, it's a STEM degree with the data analytics.
Okay.
Then she said, okay, it's fine. So your future aim is to come back or stay in US? I said, no, ma'am, I want to come back and start working with the Deloitte. It's my dream job as an accountant. So then I said, she reviewed, and then next she said, scan your 4 fingers, and she refused.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't expected that one, because I thought I would be getting the visa, because she's a foreigner, American lady. I thought there will be no much bias, because sometimes there will be myths and facts. So I thought, okay, luckily English lady, I'm very happy to convey whatever I want to say. Then I said, but I didn't expect at last she would reject my. So where I was did any mistake or something I didn't understand. Even I was doing the reflection where I missed something, or because now I'm looking for a next visa refuse slot, and I have been going for a different university this time, and I got the admission into one of the premium institute. So that's what I have been changing. So this is my first query, sir. You need to answer. And the second one, in the DS 160, in the form, like if you have been refused previously, I said yes. And the reason I want to mention is I was refused under 214B.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So these are the two questions.
Yes, sir, please.
So very recently, one of the student, who came to us, and he really liked the way we were presenting, and our Instagram reel and all. He said that we guys Zolve, and we all are doing a good job. But he said also talk about the universities.
Okay.
Good that you brought this up, because this thing was not in my mind to do this today. But good that you brought this point.
Yeah.
So
After my visa interview, I get to know, sir, because university plays a critical role. Maybe
exactly.
that's the
Correct.
reason, even after I'm having good experience, and
Right.
she was convinced because of university, maybe I rejected somebody saying. So that's
Correct.
what, yeah, please do clarify, sir, please.
So good, I mean, that you brought this thing up, and in my next presentation, I'm going to highlight this point as well.
Yeah.
For that the student should understand that, when you're going to the US, or even in India, or as a matter of fact, any place where you want to, upgrade your skills, you should be looking at the quality of education and the university, because there are so many universities across in India or in the US which have started coming up. Whereas if you talk about India and if you talk about Indians, we always look at the universities, right? Even in India, if somebody wants to be an engineer, his first choice would be to get into an IIT, or a VIT, or that. Then he may look at various other options if he doesn't qualify. So the visa officers, they understand that in India, the parents and the large people, those who are going and studying in America, are looking at the reputation of the universities as well. You know, so when the officer suddenly hears a university which is a lesser known university, then he doubts the intentions. You know, so as soon as you gave me the name of the university, I was first like, I've not heard about this university ever, right? Why is he going there, right? The second thing is, so when you're talking about that you're an accountant and that you want to go and specialize in artificial intelligence, here you could also talk about how the financial industry in India is changing. What is happening with the financial, what do you say, accounting system in India?
Yes, yes.
A lot of these, if you talk
Changes
about
are been coming up.
yeah, if you talk about Deloitte, if you talk about KPMG, or if you talk about the various accounting, the international SOX compliances, right, or the gap compliances,
Yes.
which is US based,
Yes.
are being monitored in India.
Yeah.
So you've got to bring those elements, saying that I've been working in the financial industry for X number of years, and I see how the SOX compliances or the gap compliances are being incorporated here. So I would like to go to the US to upgrade my skills, to understand what are the different compliances, how that would benefit in my career growth once I return back. And plus, with these compliances, this university is offering me a program which is related with artificial intelligence, which would make the accounting much more easier. So give an answer which not only incorporates your, the technical side, but also the fundamental side of the accounts.
Yeah.
Okay. So combine these answers, and
Yes.
along with, your experience in the industry and your career growth and what's happening in India, how these, financial institutes are changing to match the US standards, right?
Yes.
So that's how you bring that in with the choice of university. So
Sure,
I think two things, because when you gave me an answer, you said that, this STEM degree. So if the officer asked you, then it's fine.
Yes, yes.
But don't bring up yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those are the corrections from my side.
Sure.
However, I need to understand more holistically to give you a better answer, but this is what I think you should incorporate.
Sir, I've been just asked 3-4 questions, and I mean issued 214B, because in these questions, I showed that my future job is in Indian Deloitte market, but I showed some of the family ties, but because of giving 214B, I can't say much, and I just left the counter. So I was thinking
that's
how I
fine.
can.
Once the officers make a decision, then there's no point standing there. However, before that, you have all the options, right? So, like I said, the choice of university probably was not very clear, right? And then you did not incorporate your fundamentals of the finances. You were focusing more on the technology. So the officer is not able to think, is there a connection? Is there a correlation or not? Understood?
Sure, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All
Yeah.
right. Anirudh, go
Hello,
ahead.
good evening, sir.
Yeah, hi, good evening.
Sir, I attended your last session as well. It was a huge confidence boost for me. I'm a very nervous guy. I'm not
Okay.
able to speak when I'm very nervous. But yeah, it helped me a lot. So I just
I
had one
think,
question.
Anirudh, you should also start your videos so that we can see you, and then sir can guide you on, how you can
Right.
change your energy and
Yeah,
present yourself better during the interview.
yeah. Hello, am I visible?
Yes, now you're visible, Anirudh. Very good.
Yeah, hello, sir.
Hi.
Hi. So
Hmm.
actually, sir, I had just had one question. It is that my father and my maternal uncle, they both are going to sponsor me.
Okay.
So how am I supposed to convey this that like I am not financially unstable? It's just my maternal uncle. He's very attached with me as he has no he doesn't have his own son.
Okay.
So he's very attached to me. So that is why he's also contributing. Like he's saying that I'll also contribute. So how am I supposed to convey this message to the officer?
Good. So I'm going to address this in two parts. Okay. The first thing is like, does the visa officer know you?
Yeah, he does.
No, मेरा question है आपसे नीरू, does the visa officer know you?
No. He
He doesn't know
doesn't
you,
know. Yeah.
right? Okay. Now 99.99% he's not interested in looking at the documents,
Okay.
right? He's more
Yeah.
interested in talking to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one. So how do you address it? Sir, my family is going to take care of my expenses. We have a current annual income of so much, savings and investment so much, property is worth so much, right?
Okay.
एक तो ये आंसर हो गया.
Yeah.
Now, so I keep telling everyone, provide relevant information voluntarily. So relevant information क्या है? The officer is asking you, how will you fund yourself, right?
Yeah.
Is he asking you who all are funding you?
No.
Exactly. So why do you want to, give him that information?
Yeah, I also forgot to mention that I have also secured an education loan. So like it's kind of half and half for the 2
Okay.
years, complete 2
Right.
years of my
So
course.
पहला तो ये समझ गए आप, have you understood how to address, how will you fund yourself?
Yeah, my family is going to
So
sponsor.
is uncle your family or he's not your family?
Yeah, he is my family.
तो ये मैं गलत तो नहीं बोल रहा, my family is going to fund me?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Now, how do you answer it? So my family is going to fund me. We have a current annual income of so much, savings, investment worth so much, property is worth so much. In addition to all this, I've taken an education loan.
And should I also mention that I have been awarded with a scholarship? I have been awarded.
So right in the end, looking at my credentials, the college offered me a scholarship as well. Okay. एक ही हो गया. दूसरा, let's say worst case scenario, he says that who is this gentleman? Why is he sponsoring you?
Yeah.
Okay. So your answer is that he's my maternal uncle, and he's very close to my family, and he insisted that he wanted to be a part of my growth.
Yeah.
So he has provided me with his finances and he is willing to support me. However, my family and my education loan can easily take care of my expenses.
Understood.
Okay,
So,
so that's how you answer it.
Yeah, so I should not mention that like he doesn't have a son of his own, so that is why he's
So he's
attached
very
to me.
close to my family. He doesn't have his family, so he's been very close to me. He's been encouraging me to go and study there. So he's volunteered to support me because he doesn't have kids.
Yeah, sure. That's right. Yeah.
But this answer, don't focus only on this answer.
Okay.
All right. You have to focus this, as a part of the answer, but majority would be your reason of going and studying over there and your reason of coming back. Like I said, name the companies that you want to come back and work for in your first answer itself.
Okay.
Okay. So please understand, and this goes for everyone. The visa officer, when you say that, I'll come back, for example, a lot of students say that, I've got tons of property, I'm going to come back because I'm the only child, we've got property worth 20 crores. The officer says, did you earn that property? The answer is no. He says, then tell me what is yours. So yours is your professional goals, because you are going there to study, because you want to upgrade your skills, because you want to come back and work in your home country. So your focus has to be career goals, not कि मेरे पापा के पास property है, I'll come back to take care of my property, or my parents are getting old, I want to come back and take care of them. That doesn't cut ties with an American. It doesn't.
Okay.
He's looking at purely कि पढ़ने क्यों जा रहे हो? What will you study there? What are the courses that you've selected? Are they in sync with your career objectives or not?
So there's also one question I had, like it's kind of a doubt. So many, like my goal is to come back to India and start my own edtech company. It's going to be a personalized learning, just like how it is in US education system. Like I want to replicate it, but in my own way, using
Okay.
AI tools and everything else.
So you
So
want
this
to
is
do an online kind of an education platform?
no, it will be online as well as physically students like opening branches physically as well.
So is that more towards soft skill development?
Yeah, basically, I want to help students who are not able to discover their true passion. Most of this is a major problem in India, which I saw during my engineering as well. That many of my peers or many students who were friends with me, they have chosen the course not because they have very, like say, because their parents influenced them into it. Yeah, their parents expected them to be engineer, or like everyone was going there, so they followed their friends. They don't know their true passion, and they're not able to perform quite well in while in their academics. So I
No, so
want
I'm not able
to
to understand कि आप business क्या करना चाहते हो. I'm not able to understand that.
so I want to open my own edtech company, which will help such students find their true passion.
Is it more on the counseling side?
Yeah, it is going to be more like,
Career counseling.
it will be more
Yeah.
like career counseling. Then why do you need to go and study computer science?
So basically, to the AI tools which I'll need, that I will have to gain a more in-depth knowledge in this artificial intelligence technology, right? So that is
नहीं, वो तो समझ में आ गया कि that you want to go and do your masters and understand artificial technology, but how do you translate that into a business? I'm not able to understand that.
so like Byju's is there, right? So they
Okay.
use online tools and everything. Like
You're saying some kind of certification programs to enhance their
no,
employability?
there will be exercises in on the website itself, which will like collect student data, some kind of exams, which will collect student data. Then we will get to know that in which subject they are lagging and in which are their strengths, like that.
Okay, all right, okay. So let me tell you. So the answer is, so if the question comes in, why do you want to go and study in America? Your answer would be, sir, I would like to do my master's in artificial intelligence because I've been interacting with a lot of students. I've also done a couple of projects here, and students, at a very young age, are not able to decide which field they want to choose. So I would like to come back and create a platform where a student can interact and answer certain questions where we could suggest them the kind of options and opportunities according to their passion they can choose.
Yeah.
Right? So that should
Understood.
be your answer.
Okay, understood.
ठीक है ना?
So yeah. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, all the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah,
Thanks.
thank you.
Thanks, Anirudh. Shrisha, if you're here, you can go ahead.
Yep. Hi, sir. Good
Hi.
evening. Actually, I attended your previous session as well. I wanted to give a mock at that time, but I couldn't. Can I give it now if you are okay?
Why not?
Thank you. Actually, I was about to turn on my video, but there's a power cut at my place, so it's dark here.
Okay, no worries. I faced the same problem last time when
Yeah.
I could, today is better.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So go ahead. Okay. So tell me, Shrisha, what have you studied here in India?
I have completed my undergraduate degree in electronics and communication engineering. I graduated in the year of 2021 with a CGPA of 9.4 on 10-point scale.
Okay. And what are you doing since 21?
I'm working as a cloud and DevOps engineer in KPMG. My roles and responsibilities include infrastructure development, automation, and security compliance.
Good. And what would you like to go and study in the US?
I'm going to US to pursue masters in electrical and computer engineering from Purdue University.
Okay. So how will that education help you? What are your career goals?
My career goal is to work as a circuit and physical design engineer. Currently, India is witnessing a boom in this field, and I want to utilize cloud technologies to automate designing and verification in semiconductor industry. So, therefore, to gain a deeper insights, I plan to do masters in this field.
Wonderful. Your answers are already there. Why do you want to go to the US? After completing my undergrad in ECE in 21, I've been working with KPMG, working on cloud. And that's where I realized how, the cloud technology is taking over, design engineering is taking over. So I'd like to go and do my master's so that once I return back, I can progress. That's it. As simple as that.
Okay.
Yeah. So why have you chosen Purdue?
Purdue's focus on VLSI and its reputation in semiconductors and embedded systems are my prominent reasons to choose this university. Also, the university's ongoing research and I could closely relate with Professors Anand Raghunathan's work with my research undergrad experience. So, working under them will be truly beneficial for my future goal of becoming circuit and physical design engineer in Indian semiconductor industry.
So you've done a lot of research online, right? And taken the answers, right?
Yes, sir.
So it's very generic. How do I know
Okay.
that you've done this research? By listening to your answer, the way you structured the answer,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you would have also read that, a lot of people, a lot of time, the visa officer says, don't give me those structured answers, right?
Yes, sir.
This is the problem. Okay. So try and make the answer your own answer. And how do you make that? So why have we chosen Purdue? So because I want to specialize in cloud computing or cloud technology and design
Mm-hmm.
engineering. Based on that, I did my research. In fact, sir, I applied to 5 colleges, but when I heard from Purdue, I really like the way they've structured the program, which matches
Okay.
my profile, right? So you have to bring your element. Then it becomes very easy for the officer to, issue a visa to you.
Okay, sir.
So be relaxed. Don't do a lot of research. Do your research on yourself. As
Okay.
in, what are your requirements, right?
Okay,
And
sir.
this program or Purdue is actually giving you those skill sets which would help you achieve your career goals. So keep
Okay.
this line. I did my research. I looked at various colleges because I wanted to specialize in cloud technology and design engineering, right?
Okay.
Because
Okay, sir.
India is looking at the boom. India has a lot of companies that are coming in. So when I heard from Purdue, I really like the way they've structured the program. So more like a conversation.
Okay, sir.
Okay, but let me also tell you, your understanding is very good. You're very clear. You understand where you're going and what is your direction. So that's a very positive thing for you.
Okay, sir.
Okay, all right. So how will you fund your education?
My family is funding my education with a savings of 10 lakhs. My father is a farmer with an annual income of 20 lakhs, as well as we have a immovable assets of 2 crores. In addition, I have secured an education loan from ICICI Bank of 87 lakhs.
Wonderful. Do you have relatives in the US?
No, sir, I don't have anyone in the US.
Good. So would you like to do your OPT in the US?
Right now, my career goal is to study the masters and come back to India and to work in semiconductor industry.
So you will do an OPT or you will not do an OPT?
I won't be doing it.
Okay. So why have you chosen US over India for your masters?
When I thought about doing masters, I did research about all the universities, but US focus on research and innovation in the field of VLSI will give me a practical exposure, and also the syllabus is not imposed on students. We are free to choose major based on our interest.
So I
And
caught you somewhere. That's the reason
okay,
I've been smiling.
okay,
So what mistake did you do? I asked you, would you do your OPT? Because I knew you will say no.
yes,
Okay? Because you believing that if I say yes, then the officer will believe that you want to stay in America, right?
yes, sir.
Okay. But at the same time, when I asked you, did you look at the difference between Indian education and US education? You said US education is practically designed.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? That means CPT or OPT, Baba.
No, sir. While studying itself, we could gain a research experience and
Right.
work in labs.
Right. So that's CPT or OPT,
Okay.
isn't that?
So what should I say, sir?
So would you like to do your OPT? Well, sir, OPT is an integral part of the US education system, which allows international students to get some industry exposure. I would like to take that advantage before I come back to India.
Okay.
It's a part of the education system. You have your I-20.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you look at the I-20, the third page, it says work authorization.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean? It means CPT, practical approach, or
Okay.
an OPT. So you can do your OPT while there are certain programs, and after you complete your program. So there is no harm in saying that.
Okay.
Maybe the officer believes that you're pushing it too hard.
Okay, sir.
Okay, cool,
Okay.
good. Any other question?
No, sir, that's it. So, my funding question, which I answered, is that okay?
So instead of saying that my father's a farmer, they say that my father has an income of 20 lakhs.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, sir.
All
Okay.
right. All
Thank you
right.
so much, sir. Thank you for this opportunity.
Sure.
All right. Thank you, Risha. Sumit?
Hello, sir.
Hi,
Good evening.
Sumit.
Yes. Sir, my name is Sumit Ghodke, and I am a previously refused candidate, and I have secured admission in Oregon State University, and also I have few sets of questions regarding DS 160.
Sure, go ahead.
Sir, my first question is that what should we write in a refuse box of DS 160?
Okay, so let me answer that because I guess another gentleman had asked and we missed out this question. So good that you're asking this question. So So in case if somebody's visa is refused and if they're reapplying for the visa, so this is again an opportunity for you to give your strength to the visa officer by explaining this in the refusal box, rather than just saying that I got refused under section 214B, or saying that I was too nervous, I could not articulate my answers. Those are ridiculous. All right. You have to give a good justification, as in which helps the visa officer to look at your case holistically. How do you answer that? So, sir, after completing my education or while I was doing my undergrad, I did my project or while working, I realized that how the industry in India has grown in the past 10 years, in the field of artificial intelligence or machine learning or finance, right? So based
Yes,
on
sir.
that, I did my research. I looked at various colleges. I got into one of the top universities or one of the better universities, which was offering me the right kind of course content and curriculum, which would really help me improve my skill sets for a better career growth once I return back to my home country. At the same time, my parents are very well settled here. They're professionals. They have savings and investments, and we also own properties that not only covers my tuition fees, but also we are financially stable in India, right? My
Yes,
only intentions were to do my masters and return back to my home country for a better career growth as India is growing, and so my growth in India would be much bigger and better. Plus, I have strong social ties as my family is here. But unfortunately, my visa got refused under Section 214B. So you're telling the officer that you've really worked hard, your intentions are to go study and return back, but unfortunately it got refused. All right. So give a
yes.
little explanation.
Sir, my second question is that my program name is different and in I-20 it's mentioned different. So at interview, what should I say? The name of the I-20 course or the course I'm going to pursue?
Okay. So let's understand. Like I said, the I-20 we generally believe is coming from the university. However, the university has the USCIS portal through which they have to choose a program which has a drop down and is closest to the program that you're going to study there for. Okay. However, if you look at your admission offer, that admission offer would give you the name of the program you're going in for, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So during the interview, you can easily mention the program that you're actually going in to study, not the program that has been mentioned on the I-20. So carry your admission offer, highlight the program that you're going in for, and during the interview, if the officer says that if they bring it up, because they know that it's through a drop down and this is a subsection or the clauses that they've selected, just in case, if the officer says, but this program is different, then you can say, so that I have the admission offer from the university. This could be a sub-program, or this is the heading of the program, and this program specialization come under this.
Yes, sir. The next question is that what should we write in national identification numbers? It's our Aadhaar card, or we should skip
Yeah,
that?
you can mention the Aadhaar card, or you can be easily mention does not apply.
Uh,
Both are
and
acceptable.
just two more questions, sir. So, what can we say in why USA and why this university specifically? As I am pursuing my master's in electrical and computer engineering from Oregon State University, and I do have work experience of 9 months previously, and after that I was refused, and I have done one design thinking course to support my gap and also my education.
Okay, so when they say why US, now this has two different meanings of the question, why US. If this question is asked the first question, why US, then you've got to explain what have you studied here in India, what have you been doing, what will you study in the US, and how will that help you in your career growth. If this question is asked right in the beginning, why
Yes, sir.
US, right?
Yes, sir.
In case if this question is asked like, why do you want to go and study in America, how will you fund yourself, why you chose the university, and then he says why US, right? Let's say it's
Yes,
the
sir.
third or the fourth question. Then it means why not India?
Yes. So
Okay,
we should compare Indian education system to US, or we should give more practical answer to that.
right. So you can. So like I said, if the question is asked like third or the fourth in the queue, then you can say, sir, I did look at a couple of Indian schools. I in fact very carefully compared the course content, the curriculum, the teaching methodology. However, I have discovered that the curriculum in India, and the industry, there's a huge disconnect. The industry has really moved forward. Unfortunately, the Indian curriculum has not been updated. Whereas in America, the entire curriculum is designed to match the industry requirements. So it becomes very current and relevant. It makes a student industry ready when they come back, right?
Yes,
So that's
sir.
how you can counter that. Why this university would be that, like I said in my previous answers, that I've done my research, I've compared the course content, keeping my requirements in mind because I want to specialize in these key areas. When I heard from this college, I found that after comparison, this is the best university. So, especially for people, those who have been working in the industry, and when they're choosing a college, they should not only look at the core, right? They
Yes,
should
sir.
also look at the electives, which could be
Yes.
towards the management or the operations, saying that I've been working in the industry for more than 1 year or 9 months, and then once I complete, I want to come back and take on bigger roles like a project leader.
Yes, sir.
So that's the reason I've chosen this program, because it has elements of operations or management.
Yes, sir. And sir, last, I have got an assistantship from one of the professor from Oregon State University. So how can I highlight this part as positive side?
Okay, so good. So if the officer says, why have you chosen this university, never start by saying they are giving me an assistantship. Never.
Yes.
Okay, so why have you chosen this university? So I did my comparison looking at all those things. I chose this, and I'm really, really honored that one of the professors have given me the opportunity to assist him in his
Yes.
project,
Yes.
right? And then how will you fund yourself? So my parents are going to fund me. They have savings, investments, annual income, property, and all of this. Looking at my credentials, the college offered me an assistantship also. So you can counter it twice.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. I am following your video lectures from Zolve simultaneously, and I am not currently prepared for my interview. So I am hoping next time I will get a chance to interact with you.
Sure. I would
Yes.
love to.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sure, Sumit. Once your visa is approved, do DM me on WhatsApp.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. Sure.
We'll be happy to have your experience on this all YouTube channel. And it
Yes,
goes
ma'am.
for
Sure.
everyone. Guys, if you get your visa approved, we have a common WhatsApp group. I'm sure all of you are in that group. Please share your experience, so that other students can learn from your experience.
Right.
Okay, Akash, if you're here, go ahead.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, Akash.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. So my name is Akash. So I have a work experience as a software developer. So I have a work experience of a software developer way before starting my bachelor's.
Okay.
So how should I tell them? Like, should I tell them it was like a part-time, or I shouldn't tell about it?
No, you can. I mean, if you want, you can always say. So why do you want to go to the US? Sir, while I was doing my undergrad and even before that, I've been really passionate about developing software. In fact, I've done various projects, and it has reinforced that, doing my specialization would give me the right kind of skills. So you can bring it in, you don't have
Okay,
to emphasize on that, but you can use that as a compliment.
okay. So they may think like I was doing a part-time because my studies was basically distance education.
Okay.
So is it a negative
No, it's
point to
not.
say?
No, like I said, so why do you want to go and study in the US? And I'd like to go and do my master's in computer science. In fact, while I was studying, I did a lot of independent projects.
Mm-hmm.
So you bring that in, saying that I've been passionate about this. I've done
Okay.
projects, I've developed, software, or I've developed websites or apps. It has reinforced that, I lack those technical skills.
Mm-hmm.
So though I have been developing this for the past 2 years or 3 years, but then in order to progress, in order to make more impact, I need to have a master's and have an international degree. So you don't have
Okay.
to emphasize on that. You have to bring
Mm-hmm.
it in. It has to be very subtle.
Mm-hmm. So I don't need to mention about like it's a part-time or full-time, right? I just need to mention that I have a work experience as a software developer. That's it.
I mean, so when was it that you graduated?
So I will be graduating this year only because I have
So then
some.
you don't have a work experience now, Baba.
I have a work experience before starting my bachelor's.
Okay. So when
I've
did you
been.
complete your class 12th?
So yeah, so class 12th and bachelor's I have some gaps of 3 years.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
So what
after
have you
that
mentioned? No.
Mhm.
So what have you mentioned on your DS 160?
So DS 160 I only mentioned about my bachelor's. That's it, not
Okay.
class 12.
So then there is no. So if you've heard this entire conversation, I said you have to provide relevant information voluntarily.
Okay.
Relevant. Okay. Now, there was a student who asked me that my uncle is sponsoring me. Should I mention that? Right. I said, did the officer ask you this? No, he did not.
Correct.
Right. So if the officer is not asking it, then don't bring it up. If he is
Okay.
asking it, then you need to have a justification.
Got it.
Right. So your justification would be that, even while I was doing my schooling, I was really passionate about how to develop software. I was really intrigued. So in fact, I did, a lot of projects. I did work, and even while I was doing my undergrad, I was regularly involved in developing a lot of software.
Okay.
So just combine it. Don't segregate it.
Got it.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Yeah, that's the only question I had. So I have a doubt.
Good.
So even the distance doesn't matter, right? Distance education.
No, it doesn't.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Akash. We'll take two more questions and we'll conclude this session. So yeah, Guna Shekhar, if you're here, go ahead. Guna
Hi,
Shekhar,
Guna.
am I audible?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Shilpa, if you're here, you can go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Hi, Shilpa.
Sorry, sir, I'm outside and not able to on the video. I have
No.
two queries.
Okay. Go ahead.
Sir, I want to know that how should I answer the question in interview that what I have changed since my previous rejection, as in actual I didn't change anything. But I think if I say this, it will be a red flag in my interview.
Okay. So look, the simplest answer is because most of the time the officers are not looking at your financials or they're not looking at documents. You could simply
Yes,
say
sir.
that this time I'm carrying additional financial papers and property papers to show strong ties to my home country.
Okay, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir. I also want to know that how to frame the answer of question by this specific university, because it's my third attempt, and during my previous two interviews I always reject after the question that why specific this university. Even I mentioned in my answer about accreditation of universities and course that I choose. Along with it, I mentioned that there are highly experienced professor, but I felt that information is not that the officer want to listen from me.
Correct. So which university are you going to?
Sir, I'm going to Webster University
Okay.
in St. Louis.
Okay. And how many universities did you actually apply to?
I have applied in 3 universities.
Can you name the universities?
Yes, sir. Gannon University and Wright State University and Webster University.
Okay. And you're going for your master's?
Yes, sir. I'm going for MBA after Bachelor in Pharmacy.
Okay. All right. So did you appear for a GMAT?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. So where are you from? You're from North India, right? Karnal?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you probably went to a consultant, right, to get your admissions.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how do I know all this?
By my course.
No. Okay. Because these universities are not like, like the other gentleman who was going for his financial institute who had almost like, maybe 5 years of experience. His university
Yes.
wasn't a great university. All right. So now the thing is that the visa officers also understand the kind of universities you're going to. अभी
Okay,
कुछ देर
sir.
पहले मैंने वही कहा था कि एक स्टूडेंट अभी मेरे पास आया था रिसेंटली और उसने कहा कि सर आपकी जो वीजा से रिलेटेड जो जो आप वीडियोस डालते हो वो बहुत अच्छी है लेकिन आप यूनिवर्सिटीज में भी डालना शुरू करो क्योंकि
Yes,
अभी
sir.
क्या हो रहा है इन द लास्ट नाउ you will see the change coming from this 2025 that the visa officers will start asking more about the universities कि आप इस यूनिवर्सिटी को क्यों चूज कर रहे हो right so you have to be
Yes.
now you've done pharmacy and now you're going for your
MBA.
MBA right
Yes, sir.
people ask you how will this education help you or why do you want to go and study in America आपका आंसर क्या होगा पहले मुझे ये बताइए
Sir, my answer is that after doing MBA from USA, I will return back to my home country and will set up my own pharmaceutical company near to my hometown in Dehradun, which is the greatest pharmaceutical hub.
Okay. Now ये आपने एक बहुत जनरल आंसर दिया,
Yes, sir.
है ना? अब आपका आंसर क्या है भाई? आपने फार्मास्यूटिकल्स पढ़े हैं? हैव यू वर्कड एनीवेयर?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, if you say that you want to come back and establish a pharmaceutical company, right? So,
Yes,
but
sir.
question, ये आंसर बहुत बड़ा हो गया. फार्मास्यूटिकल्स में आप क्या करोगे? रिसर्च करोगे, ड्रग डेवलप करोगे, आप मतलब क्या करोगे आप?
Sir, drug development.
ओके, तो उसके लिए ड्रग डेवलपमेंट के लिए इंडिया में उसकी क्या जरूरत है और आपके कॉम्पिटिटर्स कौन है? उसकी रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है? तो शिल्पा
Sir,
क्या होता है? हाँ. So why do you want to go to the US? And I've done my bachelor's in pharmaceutical, and while I was doing in my final year, I had a project, and I saw that India is fast becoming a research hub on pharmaceuticals. During COVID, India
yes,
was
sir.
in the fourth running in developing drugs, and India, if you talk about, is now fast becoming a diabetic hub. So there is a huge requirement for affordable drugs in India, right? So we
Yes.
already have an understanding, and I would like to come back and establish my own uh, pharmaceutical company in India where we can develop affordable drugs for people. तब समझ में आता है कि आपने एक प्रॉब्लम को आइडेंटिफाई किया है and you want to address that problem.
Okay, sir.
Then it becomes your answer. Why have you chosen Webster University? So I've chosen Webster University because I did look at various other colleges. The MBA program over there is very good. They also have certain electives in pharmaceutical industry.
Okay,
How
sir.
entrepreneur. तो वो प्रोग्राम आप सिलेक्ट करोगे तो आपका आंसर बनेगा, नहीं तो बहुत जनरल हो जाएगा ये आंसर.
Okay, sir.
ठीक है ना? तो वर्क ऑन दोस थिंग्स जो आपसे रिलेटेड है, आपके काम से रिलेटेड है, इंडिया में क्या हो रहा है, उसकी क्या जरूरत है और आप उसको कैसे एड्रेस करोगे. दैट इज रियली इंपॉर्टेंट.
Sir, I want to know that my university is not good. That's why I got refused, or my answer is inappropriate.
बोथ.
Okay, sir.
सॉरी.
Thank you,
आपके
sir.
आंसर जनरल है ना बच्चे, I mean, if you
Yes.
have those answers very specific to you, then it becomes easier to convince the officer कि अगर यूनिवर्सिटी अच्छी भी नहीं है, पर उसका प्रोग्राम का स्ट्रक्चर मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लगा.
Okay, sir.
हाँ, ठीक है.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Shilpa. Gunashekhar, if you're here.
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
Yes, Gunasekhar, tell me.
Yes, sir, actually, I am 29 years old. I completed my diploma in mechanical engineering in India. So later, 4 years, I worked in South Korea. So overall, I have 7 years of work experience. Currently, I got admission in Arkansas State University. I wanted to do bachelor's in manufacturing engineering.
Mhm.
So, will my profile suits the course?
It can, provided you are able to tell the officer that after studying this, what will you do? How will that help? What are the gaps that you
I,
look?
I have a plan. So, actually, I have a. It's also my ambition. I wanted to come back to India, and I wanted to start a manufacturing company under Make in India initiative.
So you want to manufacture utensils?
No, manufacturing a product which is home decor products based on like selling units in Amazon, like online platforms.
So like what? Because this is very vague. That you want to come back and open up a restaurant. Are
Oh,
South Indian restaurant, Indian restaurant, North Indian restaurant, Chinese, which one?
like toys or home decor products. Sir. I
Okay.
don't have
Toys
a
or home decor.
yeah
There are two
specifically. I
very
don't have
separate things.
specifically. I don't have any idea, but
So that's the problem now, Baba. If you say toys, then we can say that, so why do you want to go to the US? Sir, I'm a mechanical engineer and I've been always interested in setting up my own manufacturing unit, especially in toys, because I see that, there are a lot of toxic toys. I want to create toys which are like, non-toxic,
okay.
or educative toys under the Made in India. Then it makes sense. Otherwise,
Also,
very vague.
yes, sir. Also, I wanted to make India as a manufacturing hub. Our competitor is China, actually. So I wanted to make India as number one in manufacturing hub.
Yeah, that's fine. But like, that so manufacturing could mean like cell phones. It could be like, automobiles. It could be furniture. It could be anything. So it's very vague. You know?
Yes,
So
actually,
even if
I
you
have an
say,
idea based on the current trend. So I will choose the products based on the upcoming trend
so in
because
your
it
answer, when you go to the visa interview, your answer has to be very specific.
is specific.
Not that, I'll go study in America, understand, and then come and then do a market survey and then decide. What if that, the market collapses or there's a different trend altogether. You have to be very focused
Okay,
in
sir.
giving
Also,
your
I
answer.
have a doubt, sir. My currently I'm 29 years old. Also, I'm married. So I'm leaving my family India. So I have a doubt whether my profile suits or not because I'm doing bachelor's.
No, like I said, as long as you're convinced what you want to go and study there, how will that help you? What problem you've identified and how do you address that problem? Up until now, what I've understood is that it's very vague. You know, if you give these kind of answers, your profile is not good.
Okay, sir. Okay,
Unless you have something very specific, very targeted,
okay,
and you're finding a solution to it, then the conviction will come out.
okay, sir.
Otherwise, otherwise it's not a good profile for anyone.
Okay, sir. Okay, fine, sir.
Yeah.
That's it, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Cool. Sir, one last question. Raghav has been waiting for a long time. Yeah,
All right. Yes,
Hello.
Raghav. Yes.
Sorry, sir, I'm not able to just turn this video off. I can, but there will be dark pitch because I don't know why they are cutting electricity a lot.
no problem.
Sir,
Go ahead.
मैं तो किसी को नहीं
sir,
देख पा रहा हूँ. I
I
want to see
can,
everyone.
sir, wait, sir,
It's
can you
okay. It's
just
okay, Raghav. I'm just
my
joking. Don't worry. It's okay. Go ahead.
sir, my interview is like I have scheduled my interview. It is on 5th of December, sir. Can you just please conduct a quick mock for me, sir, if
Sure.
it's possible?
So tell me, why do you want to go to the US?
Sir, I want to go to the US because I have been working uh, in the accounting field for around 2 years. And in that, I have learned that were not taught about the generally accepted principles which are being driven in the India. And also, they are the way to uh, to bridge the gap between the Indian policies and US policies. And by learning these in the hub of US only, then I can apply these principles back to India. And my uncle has also is practicing firm, and he's been he's been researching in this field as well, and he has like guided me in this field and told me that if it's possible and sir, I don't know, like he had told me that if it's possible you can learn these uh, gap and uh, uh, FSB's boards from the masters from in the masters only from there only, and then apply these in India. And he will be like to extend this branch in his own CA firm, and he has also made me an offer that I will be working under him only, and that's why I would like to gain this knowledge from good university in US.
Okay. So देखो, पहली चीज, the answer is way too long. ठीक है ना?
Okay.
And it's not structured. So why do you want to go to the US? And I've done. So आपने ये नहीं बताया कि आपने पढ़ाई क्या करी यहाँ पर. ये बताओ पहले.
Sir, I have completed my BCom in audit and accounting in 2021. After that, I was working, like I was managing my father's business for around 1 year, and then I switched to a CA firm. There I've been working for around 2 years, and I have recently resigned from there. Like it's my uncle's firm only. I recently resigned from there to like last month only to manage my to manage my Duolingo and to prepare for my masters. So I have applied to 5 universities which are in
इधर उधर जा रहे हो, रुक जाओ. So why do you want to go to the US? And I've completed my bachelor's in commerce with, accounting and finance. And I've been working for almost 3 years, in 2 years in a chartered accountant firm, where I've realized how the international, financial compliances are taking over. So I would like to go to the
yeah.
US to do my master's in finance so that once I return back, I can take on bigger roles in a international chartered accountant firm.
Yeah, and also my uncle is only opening this branch in his own firm only. So it will be like, I can say that he has already made me an offer that after pursuing my masters, I will be directly employed under his firm.
Right. So
And
we'll come to
he,
that question now. What are your future plans?
okay,
Where do you
sure,
see yourself 5 years down the line, or how will this education help you? Right. So
okay,
you can incorporate this answer there. Or
okay.
when he says, why have you chosen this university? So based on my requirement. So why have you chosen this university?
I have chosen Fordham University because they had this program called Responsible Business Leadership, in which they, like, it's a Jesuit organization. So their main motive is to turn a student into a whole individual, in which he will be able to excel in finance, technology, as well as business world. So they have this certification course, which is in one of my electives. Plus, they have another elective, which is a unique elective, which I have not found in other universities, which is accounting information systems. And this will really help me to apply technological part of accounting in my own firm. So that's what I like to go to this university.
It's a good answer. It's a good answer. So here you can connect your uncle's firm and say that, I mean, we already have a firm which is up and running. So I like to come back and join my uncle's company. And this
Okay.
university is offering me not only the core subject, but elective in these subjects. So that's a good answer. All right. Good. So how will you
Okay.
fund your education?
Okay. So, my father and my whole family have a savings of around 50 lakhs. Plus, I have secured a education loan from ICICI Bank for around 70 lakhs. And also, we have an investment in movable and immovable property of around 20 crores. Plus, I got a scholarship from the university of around $20,000. So that's how I'm going to fund my education.
So if you have all the funds, so why have you taken the education loan?
I am taking the education loan because the cost of living in New York is a little bit more as compared to other states, and also because my whole tuition fees is around 60 lakhs. So, and also education loan will help. Uh, okay, sir. I think I should say, sir, here that education loan will be bringing some ties with me.
नहीं, so the question is कि आपने education loan क्यों लिया है? Right? You said that I've taken the education loan because New York has a high rental or high living expense. So which means कि आपके पास पैसे नहीं है,
Yeah.
right? So
So we
अब
have
आपने
savings of around 50 lakhs, but it's not much.
no
It's
so
not
वो आप indirectly उनको
it,
बोल रहे हो ना
it won't be able
no
to.
hold on Raghav, indirectly you're telling the officer we don't have enough money, right? Raghav,
No, sir, but then we have the movable and immovable property, sir,
right?
of around
So my
20
question is
CR.
why have you taken the education loan? आपने बोला कि living expense ज़्यादा है वहाँ पर. That was your answer, ना?
Yeah.
Right.
So,
लिविंग एक्सपेंस ज्यादा है इसका मतलब
yeah,
आपको
yes,
मनी
sir.
नहीं है. इसका मतलब
Education loan will be as a safety, will work as a safety.
safety of what?
Safety in case the funds won't be much to help me to survive in the US. So I can just
अगर किसी
use
को
the
सर्वाइवल के लिए
education
पैसे
loan.
चाहिए तो इसका मतलब कि आपकी फैमिली के पास होने चाहिए ना.
Yeah.
ओके सो आप ध्यान से सुनिए. ओके सो
Okay.
व्हाई हैव यू टेकन द एजुकेशन लोन? सर आई बीन वर्किंग इन द फाइनेंशियल इंडस्ट्री, राइट? माय अंकल इज आल्सो अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, right? We believe that the education
Okay.
loans are easily available. I can repay the loan in easy installment once I return back. It's also financial planning on our part because we suggest people
Okay.
how to save taxes,
Okay. Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So my deposits
Yes.
giving me better
Understood.
returns So it is advisable to take an education loan for tax benefits once they return back.
Okay, understood. So I can say all this. Okay,
Right.
understood.
So you have to turn it around कि हमारा plan है, instead of saying कि वहाँ महंगा है, हमारे पास assets हैं, अरे तो you don't have to get into that. It should be a part
Okay,
of
sir.
it. ठीक है? Great.
Okay.
So where do you see yourself after completing your education? What are your future plans?
My future plan is to start my own vertical with my uncle in the field of accounting and finance. I would like to handle various clients at an international level in to uh, fund to look for their funds as well as their how will their financing will go, as well as doing their accounting at an international level, because if they will be operating at an international level they will need certain experts who can just consult them and who can just uh, look out their look out for their businesses. So in that field I would like to gain uh, the gap policies of US, because US is a big market which is available in India as well. So there are various clients who are looking for certain firms who can just cater good services at a better price. So that's why I wanted to enter.
तो इसको concise करो ना. It is too long a story. Officer आपको cut कर देगा. So where do you see yourself 5 years down the line? So looking at the way the Indian economy has grown, there are a lot of mergers and acquisition happening. A lot of international companies are opening up. They want people with specialized skills in the SOX compliance and the gap compliances. So I see a huge gap where there are not many companies which are catering to these compliances here. So I like to come back and join my uncle and help those compliances here.
Okay.
ठीक है ना? Good. आपका content अच्छा है, आपकी understanding बहुत clear है. So work on this. Try and make your answers concise. All the very best.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank
Thanks.
All right, now we have come to the end of this session, but before that, I would really like to give a shout out to students who I think changed this platform into an opportunity. This was not supposed to be a mock interview session, but they went all out and asked for it. I really appreciated it. And thank you so much, sir, again for giving your precious time to everyone. I think it will be really helpful for all of the students who attended this session.
I'm sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so
And
much. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
just reiterating again, guys, whenever you get your visa approved, do upload it on Zolve and get your credit card. And do reach out to me. We would love to have your visa experiences shared on our YouTube channel.
Great.
That's all from my side, sir.
Good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mansi. Thank you so much, Zol, for bringing this
Thank
event.
you so much.
And I'm sure that this would definitely help students clear those myths and the reality that a lot of information which keeps floating around. So keep your nerves, be confident, understand the requirements, and wishing you all the very best. I'm looking a lot more success. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And we'll have another session this Friday, and we'll have more session with Sanjay Kaushik sir, where we will be having practicing mock interviews. So stay tuned, and I'll see you again soon.